Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. What is your honest thoughts on that as an opportunity and a potential fight?
Oh, it's always is a chance there.
Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez recently had a tense showdown that caught everyone by surprise. The situation almost turned physical when Crawford, clearly fired up, moved in with an aggressive headbutt gesture. Canelo responded with his usual intense stare, making it clear that the tension was real.
I just want the opportunity, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. He's the most accomplished fighter.
The tension was at its peak as both fighters exchanged fiery words, only adding to the intensity. Fans are now buzzing with excitement because Crawford has finally spoken out about what many are calling the potential fight of the century.
Likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford, it would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. Me and Turkarash know each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
News just broke that a fight between Crawford and Canelo has been reportedly confirmed, sparking excitement across the boxing world. This isn't just any fight. It's a showdown between two pound-for-pound legends who have dominated their weight classes for years. The idea of this mega fight first came up last year after Crawford's stunning win over Israel Madrimov, capturing the WBA super welterweight title in August. At that time, rumors about a potential matchup with Canelo started circulating, but the talks faded quickly. Canelo wasn't keen on negotiating until he took care of his own fight in September against Edgar Berlanga.
Look to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He will take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight Benavidez next. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if he gets the win.
In that fight, Canelo successfully defended his WBC, WBA, and WBO super middleweight titles in another dominant display of his power and skill. Fast forward to now, and it looks like the stars are aligning. Both fighters have had time to rest since their last bouts, and fresh optimism has sparked talks that this dream fight could finally happen. Over the weekend, Crawford and Canelo reportedly met with Saudi Arabian sports chief Turki Al-Sheikh, who is said to have played a key role in making this deal happen. Reports now confirm the fight is on, and Crawford has wasted no time expressing his confidence in the matchup.
If I'm easy work, I heard him say, I'm easy work. If I was easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you.
Crawford took to social media with a bold statement. I'm going to shock the world. Watch, the best is yet to come. I've had this in my back pocket the whole time. His words quickly went viral, sparking debates among fans and analysts about whether the undefeated Omaha native can achieve what many are calling an impossible task. So why is this fight such a challenge for Crawford? For one, he'd have to jump 2 weight classes, moving from 154 pounds to 168 pounds to face Canelo. While Crawford has proven himself time and again, he has only fought once at super welterweight. Before that, he dominated at 147 pounds, becoming the undisputed welterweight champion after easily defeating his longtime rival, Errol Spence Jr., nearly 2 years ago.
Talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. So let's not do that, Canelo.
Spence, who was humbled by Crawford in their 2023 matchup, recently shared his thoughts on the potential fight with Canelo in an interview with Fight Hub TV. Spence expressed nothing but respect for his former opponent, saying, "It could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford wants to challenge himself and be great, then let him try." He added that he'd be rooting for Crawford if the fight happens, even though he wasn't sure if Crawford would win. "I don't know if he'll win or lose, but I'll definitely be pulling for him. If anyone can pull it off, it's him. He's chasing greatness, so why not?" Canelo moved up to 175 and fought Kovalev and Bivol. So if he can do it, why can't Crawford?
Honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody who is mentally as strong as Terence Crawford. So,
Spence's comments reflect the thoughts of many in the boxing world. Crawford has always been a fighter who thrives on challenges, no matter how tough they seem. From his early days as a lightweight champion to becoming undisputed at super lightweight and then welterweight, Crawford has consistently beaten the odds. But this time, the challenge is much bigger. Canelo is no ordinary fighter. The Mexican superstar has faced and defeated some of the best, from his epic battles with Gennady Golovkin to moving up to light heavyweight to fight Sergey Kovalev and Dmitry Bivol. Canelo has proven he's not afraid to take risks in pursuit of greatness. His impressive resume and ability to adapt to different styles make him one of the toughest opponents Crawford could ever face.
I can't go down anymore. But like he say, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because everybody's gonna say.
Turki Al-Sheikh, who has played a key role in bringing major sports events to Saudi Arabia, is reportedly doing everything he can to make this fight happen. With his experience in organizing massive events, his involvement has only raised excitement for this potential showdown. Fans are hopeful that not only will the fight take place, but it will be a spectacle worthy of boxing's grandest stage. As the negotiations unfold under Al-Sheikh's leadership, anticipation continues to build. All eyes are now on Crawford and Canelo, as the boxing world eagerly waits for an official announcement. Crawford's fiery social media post hints that he's ready to shock the world, but whether he can live up to those words remains to be seen. One thing is clear. If this fight takes place, it will be one for the history books, a clash between two of the greatest fighters of their time, both chasing legacies that will endure for years to come.
Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight. He's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different.
Ryan Garcia, known for his quick hands and outspoken opinions, has stirred up the conversation by suggesting that Terence Crawford might be biting off more than he can chew if he faces Canelo Alvarez. According to Ryan, the size difference between the two fighters is too significant to overlook. He pointed out that Crawford has never been known for his power, especially as he's moved up the weight classes. Reaching 168 pounds, a weight class where Canelo has excelled, could be a major challenge for Crawford. Ryan's concerns go beyond just the weight. According to Mike Coppinger from ESPN, the fight is expected to have no rehydration clause, meaning while Crawford will bulk up to meet the super middleweight limit, Canelo will likely come into the ring weighing much more, bringing a level of strength and durability Crawford has never faced before. For a fighter like Crawford, who relies on speed and skill, taking on a heavier, naturally stronger opponent like Canelo could prove to be a tough challenge.
What about Canelo and Crawford? What do you think?
That's gonna be a great fight too. I can't believe they made that happen. Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo is so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for.
Still, Ryan isn't completely discounting Crawford's abilities. He called the matchup exciting and gave credit to Turki Al-Sheikh, the Saudi sports chief who's been behind many high-profile boxing negotiations recently. Ryan acknowledged that if Al-Sheikh is serious about making a fight happen, it usually does, recognizing the Saudi officials' determination to put together blockbuster events. However, Ryan's tone made it clear that he believes Crawford is taking a huge risk by stepping into the ring with someone as dominant at 168 pounds as Canelo. Mike Coppinger has also weighed in on the fight, predicting it will be a historic moment in boxing. He mentioned that the negotiations between Crawford, Canelo, and Al-Sheikh have smoothed out after a rocky start last year.
Movement at times, but I'm a different fighter. I'm a different type of animal, so.
Earlier, Canelo reportedly wasn't keen on the idea of fighting Crawford, especially since he was focused on his own bout against Edgar Berlanga. Now, with both fighters meeting with Al-Sheikh and a September fight date being targeted, Coppinger believes the stars have aligned for what could be one of the biggest fights of the decade. He sees this matchup as having all the makings of a super fight, predicting pay-per-view numbers will surpass 1 million buys and a massive $30 million gate. For Coppinger, this fight isn't just about legacy, it's also about sheer spectacle. He even went as far as saying it could be the best fight we've seen in years, assuming everything goes as planned. But while the fight promises to be a massive event, the risks for Crawford are undeniable.
Realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you're still pursuing it?
Not at all. You know, I think business talk.
Former champion Mikey Garcia has also weighed in, and he's not exactly excited about the fight. Mikey, who understands weight classes well, believes Crawford is stepping into dangerous territory by challenging Canelo at 168 pounds. He explained that size and power will likely be the key factors in this fight, no matter how skilled Crawford is. While Mikey acknowledged Crawford's incredible talent, he questioned the logic of taking on such a larger opponent. Mikey even recalled a conversation he had with Crawford at the WBC convention last year, where he praised Crawford as one of the best fighters he'd ever seen. Despite his admiration, Mikey doesn't see this matchup ending well for Crawford, believing Canelo's size, power, and experience at 168 pounds give him a clear advantage.
Bringing up Canelo, I think that's weird, you know, because you'd have to gain 20 pounds?
Yeah.
But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, you know, I mean, catch weight. We can do something at a catch weight.
What weight you think?
Probably 160.
Mikey also made a case for why Canelo and Crawford should consider different paths. He argued that Canelo should focus on moving up to 175 pounds and face fighters like Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol, rather than fighting a smaller opponent like Crawford. Similarly, Mikey suggested Crawford should stay at 154 pounds and compete against other top contenders in that division. While Mikey acknowledged the financial appeal of a Canelo fight, he believes the matchup doesn't make sense from a competitive standpoint. The doubts surrounding Crawford's chances aren't just about the weight difference. His only fight at 154 pounds, against Israil Madrimov, didn't do much to convince people that he's ready for the super middleweight division. Crawford struggled to assert himself against Madrimov, a low-output boxer who didn't bring the kind of pressure or power that Canelo would. If Crawford had trouble in that fight, Mikey questions how he would handle someone like Canelo, who has dominated world-class fighters at 168 pounds.
No, that's 2 more weight classes. Once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets laid.
Canelo, on the other hand, has consistently proven himself at super middleweight. He's undefeated in the division and has defeated some of the top fighters there, including Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders, and Gennady Golovkin. He's also fought at light heavyweight, demonstrating that he can carry his power and skills into even higher weight classes. For Canelo, fighting Crawford might feel like a step down in terms of physical challenge, even though Crawford is a pound-for-pound star.
Crawford's name keeps coming up, and I know he's a lot smaller than you. Is that a fight that you would ever consider under any circumstance?
I always say if the fight make sense, why not? But he's not in the plan.
Still, the fight has captured the imagination of fans. The idea of 2 of the best fighters in the world, both undisputed champions, going head-to-head is too exciting to overlook. Even those who doubt Crawford's chances can't deny the intrigue of the matchup. It's not just a fight. It's a clash of styles, legacies, and ambitions. Crawford is aiming to shock the world, while Canelo is determined to prove that size and experience are the most important factors in boxing.
I think Canelo's gonna put the beats on him like Dr. Dre.
Do we get a knockdown from Canelo, or does Bud knock down Canelo?
Nah, Canelo's not going down. You could hit Canelo with a Louisville slugger. You're just gonna...
Turki Al-Sheikh, the driving force behind Saudi Arabia's rising boxing presence, is once again making waves in the sport. His efforts to finalize the massive showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford are stirring up excitement throughout the boxing world. If the fight is confirmed, it won't just be a clash of 2 pound-for-pound greats. It could reshape the legacy of both fighters. However, controversy is already brewing around the matchup, with fans, analysts, and even other fighters sharing their thoughts on whether this fight is a stroke of brilliance or pure madness.
Don't think it's a fight Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light middleweight. And Crawford's going to move a lot in that fight, which is not ideal for Canelo.
For starters, Canelo Alvarez, now 34, has finally confirmed his involvement in the clash on the no excuses, It's Levels Boxing Podcast. Canelo seemed confident, even dismissive, of Crawford's chances, calling it an easy fight and easy money. His words have sparked debates about his mindset going into this fight. Is the Mexican icon underestimating Crawford, or does he genuinely see it as a straightforward payday? Canelo's comment about Crawford's reduced movement in recent fights has only added fuel to the fire. Some critics argue that Canelo's dismissal of Crawford's skills could lead to overconfidence, while others view it as calculated self-assurance from a fighter who has proven himself against the best at super middleweight.
Disrespectful for Crawford to call you out at 68, say that he can beat you at this weight?
No, everybody wants to fight with me, so it's fine.
But Terence Crawford isn't backing down from the challenge, no matter how steep it seems. On social media, the Omaha native boldly declared that he's ready to shock the world. His confidence is evident, but skepticism is widespread. Crawford, now 39, has dominated at 147 and even tested the waters at 154, but jumping to 168 to face someone like Canelo is a monumental leap. His vow to make history is inspiring, but will inspiration be enough to overcome the size, power, and experience advantage that Canelo brings to the table?
There you go.
Former heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder is among those expressing concern about Crawford's massive weight jump. In an interview with ES News, Wilder didn't hold back, saying, 147 to 168, that's way too much. His comments have resonated with many who believe the jump is too risky, even for someone as skilled as Crawford. Wilder emphasized the challenge of facing heavier opponents, noting that it feels different when absorbing punches from a fighter like Canelo, who could easily rehydrate into the 180s on fight night. Wilder isn't alone in thinking that the physical toll of this matchup could overshadow Crawford's undeniable technical brilliance. Bradley, however, is singing a completely different tune on his YouTube channel. He dropped a bombshell prediction, claiming Crawford is about to beat the SD out of Canelo Alvarez. Bradley's confidence in Crawford's ability to not just win but dominate has sent shockwaves through the boxing community. According to Bradley, he studied both fighters closely and believes Crawford's skill set is simply too much for Canelo to handle. Bradley's view is controversial, especially given Canelo's track record at super middleweight, but it also highlights just how unpredictable this fight could be. Then there's Shakur Stevenson, a rising star in the sport who has been backing Crawford for years. Speaking to TalkSport Boxing, Stevenson doubled down on his belief that Crawford's style is perfectly suited to give Canelo problems. "I think he beats Canelo," Stevenson said confidently. While he acknowledged the fight wouldn't be easy, he argued that Crawford could make it much easier if he sticks to his game plan. Stevenson even went as far as to say that Crawford's punching power, which is often criticized at higher weight classes, would be enough to keep Canelo on guard. "I don't think Canelo is walking through his punches," he added, emphasizing Crawford's ability to generate power at any weight.
Look at the champion, y'all. He running all the way from his mama house to home. Dedication, for sure.
Adding another layer of intrigue, Gareth A. Davies, a well-known boxing pundit, has weighed in with his observations about Crawford's physical transformation. According to Davies, Crawford has thickened out in recent months, looking more like a natural fit for the 168 pounds division. This has sparked debates about whether Crawford's apparent bulk is a sign of genuine readiness for the challenge or simply a cosmetic adjustment that won't hold up under the pressure of facing a true super middleweight like Canelo. Meanwhile, Turki Al Sheikh's role in orchestrating this potential super fight cannot be overlooked, with many wondering if his influence will be enough to make this historic showdown a reality.
Before, and he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah. Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts.
The Saudi boxing chief has hinted at monumental plans for the sport in 2025, teasing that this fight could be just the beginning of an unprecedented era. In an interview with Ring magazine, Alex's cryptic comment about white smoke on the horizon has fans speculating about what else might be in store. His ability to bring together two of the sport's biggest stars despite their initial reluctance underscores his influence and ambition. If this fight becomes a reality, it will undoubtedly cement Saudi Arabia's position as a global boxing hub, setting the stage for even more high-profile events in the future.
Crawford if it's at 168.
Him saying it's an easy fight, he's out of his damn mind.
I agree.
I think you're the most comfortable at 160.
Still, not everyone is thrilled about the idea of this fight. Critics argue that it's more about spectacle than competition. They question whether Crawford is biting off more than he can chew and whether Canelo, despite his dismissive attitude, might be taking an unnecessary risk by facing a fighter as skilled and unpredictable as Crawford. The fight's financial appeal is undeniable, but some purists worry that the matchup is more about money than merit. For them, it feels like a step away from traditional weight class dynamics and toward a more entertainment-focused approach to matchmaking. The opinions are as divided as ever, and the stakes couldn't be higher. If Crawford pulls off the upset, it will be one of the most significant achievements in boxing history, solidifying his legacy as one of the all-time greats. If Canelo wins decisively, it will reaffirm his dominance and quiet any lingering doubts about his position at the top of the sport. Either way, this fight, if finalized, will be talked about for years to come. With so many strong personalities weighing in, from Wilder to Bradley to Stevenson, the lead up to this clash is already shaping up to be as dramatic as the fight itself. But what's your take on the fight? Do you see this as an easy fight for Canelo? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates. See you in the next one.